Welcome back to the Next Level Show. We have just a simple Christmas episode. The boys are out of town and weren't able to record, but I did want to go ahead and make an episode. This will be for most people will be listening probably tomorrow, Christmas Day, or whenever, anytime after that. But I think it'd be a good way to give um, on this special occasion. I think that the holidays brings a lot of good out of people. And I wanted to go ahead and give you guys 12 tips, and not in a specific order, but just I wanted to go ahead and share them with you guys. Stuff that has helped me personally. And I know the boys would agree. We have talked about this on numerous episodes, spread out, but I compressed the ones that I think that you guys will benefit. Quick little announcements. If you don't know, we do have a YouTube channel that we do now drop, continuously in the last 50 episodes. For some of the people that may have watched the last couple on YouTube and maybe found us through there through a friend and don't know, we do have an audio. That's where we an audio platform through Apple, Spotify, and that's where we have the majority of our episodes. So you can go ahead and check out all 200 plus on there. We have great interviews. We have a lot of different variety of different topics that we've covered in depth, and we've actually covered some of these like particular ones, but for the purpose of this episode, we're just going to knock out the 12 tips for living a healthier life. If there's no further ado, I'll probably just jump into it right now. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. But I did want to say once again, Merry Christmas from the Next Level Show. And for everyone that supported us for the last year plus, we are very grateful for you guys. We do this literally for fun and hoping that this podcast is something you can look at and extract tremendous value, and probably apply some of these things to optimize your overall life. Because even though these tips I'm going to share with you are health based, they are not just gym related, just so you guys know. And the first one we're going to kick off with is, and like I said, there's no in particular order. I just have them listed. But we're going to start off with one, and it might take a lot of people off guard, but it's going to be cutting out negative people. This is not just for a healthier life. This is just for a less stressful life. This is for a life that will lead you to be able to grow. Negative people, guys, tear down take a lot of energy out of people, out of you, drain you mentally. They're not adding. These are people that don't add any type of value. And I know this could be actually a touchy subject for some people, because these negative people could possibly be family members, and there's a sense of obligation to fight for that. And I completely get it. I've had instances where I've been in dilemmas, with what should I do? What's the right thing? And this is going to be a little bit up to your own discernment of what you want to do. What's going to be more important. I always say that you have to be in many ways your top priority, because no one else is going to look after you better than you. No matter how much a person may care about you, they're not living your walk, right? This is something that you're going to have to do. So definitely cutting out negative people, negative friendships, negative relationships out of your life can dramatically improve. And like I said, take it with a grain of salt, analyze certain situations. I know it gets difficult when it's family based. There have been instances where it may not necessarily be just where you never talk to them, but you definitely create a lot of boundaries and a lot of space to be able to manage that. Because if you notice that someone is is affecting you, where you're noticing it in your day to day, that's a very big red flag that you need to change, because you can either keep enduring it, or eventually it's going to beat you down, where you do something that you don't want to do, or you waste a lot of time and years of your life where you end up resenting yourself or that person. And that's not what we want. So definitely there's a lot more context there, but that's just the first tip that came to mind putting this together. The second tip, kind of to follow up with this one, is going to be surround yourself with people that challenge you, the positive people, optimistic people, people that have a growth growth mindset. If you're listening to a podcast, for the most part, I'm going to be a little nerdy here. Studies show that people that do look for education, look for stuff like this, they are already you already on the right track because you are seeking like-minded individuals or people that you feel can teach you something or just have good conversation, something that's going to put add some positivity to your life. So definitely be around with people that add this, that are growth minded, because you are the average of the five people you spend the most time with. So definitely this is obviously tying into the first part, but you have to take a look at your circle of people and see, what the average thing you guys have in common. And based on that, you will be the sixth, right? There's always a saying, if you hang out with, mainly fitness people, most likely you're going to end up working out and being active, right? Or if you hang out with a lot of, alcohol, a lot of people that just drink all the time and get really wasted, you probably will end up partaking in something like that eventually. If you end up with a lot of people that are hard workers or successful entrepreneurs, you probably most likely will be the sixth, as just a byproduct. So definitely your environment and the people you surround yourself with matters tremendously on your overall health, not only physically but as well as mentally. Tip number three: be okay with not knowing everything, because a lot of times when people want to start something new, and this is in the context of just even just working out, a lot of people stay paralyzed because they're uncertain on what diet they should do, what program out of the millions that are out there they should should they do, should they, how many out of all the coaches, who should they hire? And it's just a lot of uncertainty. And I think that you have to be okay with not knowing everything that's going to happen. Or if you're new to fitness, be okay with the fact that you're going to go through a lot of learning pains. There's going to be a lot of things that you're not going to be aware of. You're going to make mistakes, and I want you to really pay attention to that, and pay attention to that feeling that you get when you are kind of just dabbling with the uncertainty. Know that that's part of the process. That means that you are growing. That means that you're about to embark on something that's going to make you a better person. So I want you to take that in mind. Um, Point number four, I kind of line these up ironically enough where they kind of feed off of each other. Uh, that third tip was being okay with not knowing, and then I said the fourth tip is going to be taking. You have to take chances, and this can be in the sense of hiring and investing in yourself. Some people spend a lot of time. I've known tons of people that come to me when they hire me as a coach. They have most likely done a series of different things, and then some people have come to me fresh, no background whatsoever, never experienced working with a coach, a class, or whatever. But you have to take chances, and this is gonna look different from person to person. Some of you may look at it like, well, I'm gonna start small and invest small, and just to see what it's like. Maybe it might be a class, it might be this workout online or a subscription that's low cost to entry. Because I don't want to bash on that, because I know that by you taking a chance, and some people do okay and they get pretty far and they're able to learn a lot. It just depends on the individual. But even if it's a small investment of like maybe 20, $50 or $10 a month somewhere, or if it's an expensive purchase of thousands of dollars where you're investing all into a coach that's going to really, really work individually with you to, and it's going to be maybe more costly, right? You have to be able to take a chance, and this is going to weigh different on the individual. So not one person's the same. So you got to pick what you are okay with. Do something that's still, I would personally advise here is do something that gets you a little bit nervous, right? You should feel a little nervous. I always ask a client if they're excited, and I say excited because I know part of the excitement is going to come with nerves, and that's okay. I want that to be the case because you don't know. You're embarking on something that who knows is what's going to happen. And for the most part, it's not going to be catastrophic. So I don't. That's why I also want to say, like, take chances in this, because um is most likely you're not doing something that's life or death, right? Unless you're like embarking on like a really radical way of dieting or training that could potentially really fuck you up. I would definitely be careful, but for the most part you're going to be more than fine, so take those chances. I would even argue that that habit of doing so, and fitness is a great pivot for a lot of avenues. Your mind doesn't can't differentiate within between a small decision and a big decision. It just knows it's making a decision, right? Um, so I would say just be better at just taking those leaps, taking those risks, because it will allow you to be, when the time comes, to not be as timid or afraid of that, maybe that bigger risk or bigger chance that you're going to take. That could potentially be a life-changing experience, and I think a lot of us stay stuck in life because we just don't even practice the small things, which is just signing up for that boot camp class and being around a couple strangers, or signing up with that personal trainer at 6 a.m. in the morning or whenever you have to go, and going to a place that it's new, and you're interacting with a new person and learning new things, and learning new things about yourself. So I think this can carry on to the bigger things in life as well that can make you overall a healthier, well-rounded individual. Number 5, become stronger physically. I think this is obviously a health and fitness podcast. So, ironically, yes, becoming stronger physically is definitely a tip that I would say that everyone should apply into their life. A stronger body produces so much more than muscles. The muscles are obviously a result, but like we said, fitness can kind of pivot you in many different avenues in life and prepare you. And when you become stronger physically, you become more competent, right? You feel more able to take on other challenges. It builds a sense of confidence that you maybe or don't have right now. There's nothing better for me than when I'm working with my ladies and they lift a weight that they never in a million years thought they could, and they lift it up with, with overall we build up to it, and it's pretty easy, right? The first time a lot of my ladies deadlifts 135 when they've always been accustomed that, a lot of misconceptions that, the fitness industry does for our women is that they think that you have to lift lightweight high reps, that big heavy weights makes you bulky, which we know is not true. If you listen to the show, we've talked about this many times. um and when they finally put on a 45 pound plate on each side and they pick it up, there's there's almost like a glow that happens, right? They get super happy, and I know that that made their day. And it carries out so much more than just the fact that it was 135 pounds for a girl that weighs, 130, 100 pounds, or just, whatever. It's just the fact that they're able to do so without pain. They thought that this was only guy stuff. The fact that they became stronger physically, I know, made them feel so good about themselves. So definitely, even just for our guys out there too, guys, I know that ever since we're little, we're challenging ourselves with our friends, arm wrestling, probably, wrestling, playing sports, horse playing around in general. There's a sense that we know that being stronger is good, right? Um, and you need to in this life, man. I think that with everything going on, you got to take charge of your life and become physically stronger, because not only, like I said, not just the sense of muscles are great. I love muscles, right? Well, I love being bigger. I love being, taking off your shirt and being feeling buff or being lean or whatever. But being stronger is going to allow you to kind of work on those little habits, or it's going to prepare you to fight off, you know, sicknesses, Also is going to translate mentally. So you're going to be able to not be crushed at every disappointment that life's going to throw at you, because there's going to be many, especially if you're a risk taker, right? If you're taking chances, you have to become physically stronger, because that's also going to carry you through all those uncertainties, and make you resilient as fuck. Number 6, prioritize sleep. This is a personal attack on myself. This is where I dropped the ball. I don't know how many of you guys can relate, but and I know my boy Mike with his almost 1 year old now can attest. I'm attacking him personally as well. I love you, Mike. But prioritizing sleep is going to be super critical, guys. Um, I think that nowadays it's easy for that whole mantra of, uh, n- sleep when I'm dead. Team no sleep. I know there's not necessarily a negative. I know where some of it comes from, but the importance of sleep is so underrated that we actually did a full episode with a sleep doctor. Excuse me. That we did a full episode with a sleep doctor, and she broke everything down, and it really opened up my eyes on like where I was dropping the ball, and I still sometimes do. But when I take the simple steps to make sleep and rest a priority in my life, I feel so much better. When you've slept poorly, how much it takes a toll on your well being. And it can open you up to being more susceptible to getting sick. Your hormones, obviously get affected by this as well. People have literally died from sleep deprivation. It literally can kill you. So I think it goes to show that we need to prioritize sleep, and eventually, if you're struggling just to even get the hours, once you get some of the consistency with the time, improve your quality of sleep. And there's going to be a lot of steps here, but basic things I will give you guys to take away is limit your blue light exposure when you get closer to bed. Try to disconnect from electronics about an hour before bed. Start to kind of cool your home down, temperature wise. Um, Try to like I said, disconnect from blue light. Try not to be like working or doing something that's very like mentally taxing. I would recommend like doing something like some relaxing reading, some just some quiet time, maybe just talking with your significant other or your someone, and just kind of cool down, and don't try to think about all the stuff that you have to do. If you feel that you're someone that that's like me, that when you're laying down at night, you want to start doing a bunch of stuff, or you think about all the things you got to do, I would write them down somewhere and just get it out of your head and just put it on a piece of paper and kind of address how you're going to tackle the week or the next day. What this will do is that it will kind of get it out of your mind. You will feel accomplished, and you will actually be more at ease when you finally lay down, because you finally put it out there. It's something that's dramatically helped me. So I hope this kind of is something that will help you. Like I said, I'm gonna pick it on myself here. Number 7, manage your stress. We live in a time that it's so easy to get people. You hear a lot of times that people are dealing with anxiety. They're taking medications. They're subduing themselves with I think that's the proper word, um with alcohol and other things to cope with how stressful their life is. And partly this is going to be your fault, right? The stress management is something you need to take tremendous control over in your life to manage that, because not all stress is bad, but allowing you not having control and having outlets to manage this is going to be detrimental to your overall health and well-being. I know so many people close to me that are in a constant state of stress that has uh, allowed them to fall deeper and deeper into things that you know that are not even helping them. They're coping. It helps them like cope with the stress temporarily, but it's not actually adding value or making the problem any better. So definitely addressing this head on is going to be important. We live in a time where before having computers and phones and constant distractions, we experience stress in different degrees. Obviously, we were hunter gatherers in some of our ancestral past, and we would get that high level of stress if there was a an animal trying to kill us, right, or eat us, and we would like have to be like, whoa, like full on fight or flight, very stressful situation. But then eventually you just relax, it goes away. Nowadays, we're in a constant state of stress, many bits of it. We're not getting that high level necessarily from a lion attacking us or something, but we're constantly getting bombarded with bullshit. And this comes from the news. This comes from being on the social media platforms, following content that's making us worrisome. A lot of people, it's funny because a lot of people disconnect from social media for a break or take a break. And they tell me the first thing I notice is that they say, I feel so much better. I sleep so much better at night. I'm not feeling so bad. And definitely a part of social media, I want to put a blame on that. I hate putting blame on things, but definitely like disconnecting from certain things that are adding these things to your life definitely helps. um Following, like, this goes to the first point, is following, like, you're following these negative not negative accounts, but accounts that are adding negativity to your life, gossip, these models that maybe have a body image issue, a mind, you feel a confidence issue, and you're looking at all this stuff and it's stressing you out. Maybe you're dealing with stressful people that are constantly unloading their shit on you. Like, you need to have these boundaries within your personal life, within how much content you're consuming, how much time you devote to even the news. I don't watch the news personally on, like, news on the TV. When I do and I allow myself, when I'm like somewhere, let's say I work somewhere and the news is just so happens to be on TV, I notice myself getting like feeling bad. And usually I don't feel bad about these type of things, but I've caught myself a couple times where even if I'm constantly I'm looking at specific content, following specific drama or arguments that people start to get into, I have to disconnect from that. People that just post crappy stuff, like just negative shit, so I just unfollow them. And overall, I don't get stressed out from social media. I don't watch the news, so I doesn't worry. But yeah, definitely, these are little things you can do to just dramatically improve your mental health. And your mental health is going to be a big part to your overall health as well. So definitely managing your stress. Exerting these things from a physical standpoint would be another way to manage your stress. Let's say you have a very busy sedentary job that you're constantly boom plugged into the computer, meetings, phone calls, what may have you. Going to the gym, working out a few times a week, challenge yourself, becoming stronger, getting good sleep. All these things are going to be outlets, right? Just to hone in back on the working out part. When you get these feel good hormones when you lift weights, when you challenge yourself with resistance training. This is another reason why people love to run or do cardio. Cardio does produce like a runners call it runner's high, and it gives you those endorphins. And those are ways to kind of a more positive way to exercise, the not coping with something else, right? I rather you kind of physically move. It's going to make you feel so much better and help manage those stress levels. Number 8, eat your protein. We're going to get to the nutrition stuff real quick. Just, I think it's super important. Eat your protein, right? So you need to for the vast majority of you listening, if you haven't heard or you're newer or this is something that's being shared to you or you need a reminder, eating your protein is super critical, guys. I think that this can be a dramatic improvement to your well-being, whoever you are. No matter if you're trying to lose weight, trying to manage weight, you're trying to gain weight, build muscle, etc. This eating protein is easy way, simple yet effective way to dramatically improve all health markers. When the reason, and to keep it super short on this point, the reason being is that when I tell a client to focus on hitting their protein targets, first and foremost, before we get into macros, before we get into meal timing, before we start getting into specific stuff, I want them to focus on eating their protein. What's going to happen is that for the most part, they have to seek out foods that are going to be probably less processed. Because I tell them to stick with, like, animal proteins. You can have some plant-based proteins, but easy way to do it, if you're eat everything, if you don't have any restrictions on that end, you're gonna be chasing the minimal processed foods. You're gonna satiate a lot. You're gonna kill a lot of those cravings. You're gonna feel satiated, and protein has that, obviously, that muscle. It helps aid with recovery in the gym, building muscle. It's an essential amino acid, so you definitely need it for health. You don't need an astronomical amount, but definitely improving your protein consumption can have very positive effects. So that is a very big one. Simple but so effective. I definitely do that. I know most of my people that I work with at the beginning, is their protein numbers are so low, just so low. If you make protein a priority, you notice that, damn, you actually have to think about this, because you notice, wow, I eat only about 30, 40, 50 grams of protein a day, and I weigh like 170, 180, 200 pounds. That you're working out, you're not, giving your body enough to aid that. Um, Point number 9, tip number 9: fat doesn't make you fat. This is like a tip, but yes, it's also like kind of a catchy way of saying it. Um, Fat is okay, guys. I think that fat, some people still have a negative association with, the macronutrient fat. Um, I think that the quality of fat is definitely important, but just like protein, it is a very essential part of your overall hormonal health, your health as a whole. You do need a certain percentage. On the low end, 10 to 15%. On the higher end, I would say maybe 25 to 30% of your total calories for the day should be some type of good quality fat. You can get this from animal proteins. You can get this from specific oils that are not like seeds necessarily. Like, you don't want to be eating like sunflower oil all the time, and vegetable oil. You want to be kind of aiming for like avocado oil, olive oil, coconut oil. These are better fat options. Obviously, egg yolks, like we said, animal proteins. These are going to be good for just your overall hormonal balance. You do need this as an essential. You cannot just not eat fat ever. There was a time that, we've moved away from that, but some people that grew up in that time, I was still kind of in that in between, where I was part of that era where everything was about being low fat as possible, low fat milk, low fat food, and this is where we thought this was going to fix the problem, so they said, and this kind of just we just kind of pushed our numbers up with obesity since then. So goes to show that if fat was definitely not the problem. So to now move on to tip number 10, understanding that carbs are not the enemy. We don't want to just blame fat. We blame fat, but I don't want you to go ahead and oh yeah, I know he's going to say it's carbohydrates. I freaking knew it. No, carbohydrates are not the enemy. Carbohydrates are actually, though, I want to give this a tip if someone didn't know, they are not an essential macronutrient, but they are also a macronutrient that can definitely help your overall well-being, specific hormones, managing appetite, and it also can dramatically be a way to improve your performance if you're not getting enough carbohydrates. Typically, the average person is more of a heavy carb eater versus a keto style diet. They don't have it structured like that, where it's super high fat, low carb, and moderate protein. They normally have like moderate protein, moderate fat, and high carbohydrates, or high fat, high carbs, like both together. So you need to kind of balance them both out. But carbs in and of itself are super useful. They are an easy way to pull energy when you're being physically active a lot. They metabolize pretty quickly. I know some people may think that when they eat carbs, they blow up. I would argue that if you analyze a lot of your situations, that is true. It can happen, but it's because deprived your body. You aim so hard to keep the carbs so low that when you do introduce that, your body will hold on to it will allow you to hold on to water, because carbohydrates do hold on to water molecules, especially if it's not used to consuming it. I don't want to get super technical here, but that's why you will see a spike, and that is actually quite normal. But if you start allowing yourself to have a steady, feeding yourself a steady amount of carbohydrates regularly, you will notice that your body metabolizes that a lot faster because it registers like, okay, cool, we're getting this quick energy that we can use because this guy's going to put us through, or this lady's going to put us through a very hard workout a couple times a week, and we need to be able to perform this action or whatever we're doing, right? Also, carbs are delicious, and carbs are part of a lot of cultures around the world. It's very rare that a culture, whatever nationality you are, is a ketogenic style way of eating, right? Typically, Italians, Hispanic people even in the Middle East have breads and have stuff like that, which is a carb. It's a carbohydrate. It's a very easy way to get the calories. um Obviously, eating tremendous amounts of carbs is gonna anything over consumption is gonna make you gain weight, but if you keep those carbs in check, um you can have them without any problems and actually get tremendous results. Even when I cut, even where I'm cutting right now, I still have a decent amount of carbohydrates, and I'm down, I want to say, 12 pounds since November, and we're heading into the new year, and I have carbs every single day, even past 6 o'clock. So, goes to show that carbohydrates are just part of us. We can use it completely fine, even though they're not essential. We can metabolize it, and it is very helpful. And plus, they're delicious, especially around the holidays. I'm gonna eat some cookies. I don't know about you guys, but I'm definitely gonna enjoy my Christmas. Tip number 11: there's no such thing as the best workout or diet. I know in the New Year buzz, there's gonna be a lot of marketing headed your way, guys. Especially if you look up anything, they're gonna start sending you ads of the best new diet plan structure, the best workout program ever designed by study tested athlete, whatever. Just a bunch of crap, right? Just know that whatever's out there and whatever even we say, we try to do our best of being as objective as possible. There is no best diet or best workout. It's only going to be best is if you can actually do it and you actually enjoy what you're doing. I was actually talking to someone, and this and actually makes me think about this because when I write a program, I do my best to really apply scientific principles, evidence-based stuff that has some literature behind it. So I create a program that there is a reasoning behind everything I do. But then this particular client, like, she's been crushing it, and we've been going at it for about 3 months now, and she's been doing phenomenal. But then she found like that she was getting a little bit bored because everything I looked at it, and it's like it's really well written, it's really well laid out. But even though someone can say like this is better than if you, I could say this is better than you following this program, and it could be a combination of like circuits and whatever. But it's not the best if my client is struggling to maybe complete those workouts. It's not, if you're struggling to adhere to a diet or adhere to a workout, it's not going to be the best no longer because you're not going to be able to complete it, or you're not going to be able to stick to it long term. So there is a line between working out in a way that is correct, optimal, but that you also have to love and enjoy. So what I'll do is that I'll make some adjustments and make it so that I add certain elements in there that maybe are not fully conducive to her goal that she may think that she wants, or that she had mentioned to me. But the fact that she's able to push herself, challenge herself, and actually enjoy the workouts and look forward to being consistent in the gym, that is what is going to be best. So you need to find that. Even if I don't agree fully with how classes are structured, I'd rather you do a class where you're in a class consistently for a long time. And it keeps you active because you just hate weightlifting. You hate maybe doing specific fitness stuff. You just don't like it, but you like that one thing, and it keeps you going. Hey, I'm all for it. That's what's going to be the best for you. You have my full support. Obviously, I think that sometimes if you have to be honest with what you want, and eventually you're going to come to that crossroad. And when you do get there, you'll have the support, you will have the information there, you have the options to be able to grow from that. So I never say, like, that's why I say take chances in the further earlier tips, and be okay with not knowing what you like, even because it's a learning process. You have to go through these steps and eventually you will find that. And the final tip to wrap this, the 12 tips for Christmas for a healthier life, is going to be to love yourself. You need to work on loving yourself, guys. This is sounds very corny, and it's not because it's the holidays. I've always said this to my people. The way you treat yourself, the way you view yourself, you have to be always radically honest. I never believe in about sugarcoating shit, but I definitely think that you have to be very honest with yourself. And but you also have to be compassionate with yourself, just like you do with a very close loved one. You want the best for them. You have to want the best for yourself. You want to be honest with them. You have to be honest with yourself. You never would mistreat them and calling them names and degrade them. You can't be doing that to yourself. There has to be love uh, towards you. That way you can actually make better choices that are going to lead you to success in all avenues. Because if you do things out of pure disgust, hate, resentment, typically doesn't always go well. I mean, I don't disregard other emotions and stuff and other feelings, but I think that the main feeling or the main thought that you have for yourself should be out of love, because this is going to allow you to avoid potential harmful procedures, r- uh, routes in your life that are not conducive to a healthier life. You're going to be able to see things a bit more clear and be a lot more like you're actually going to probably enjoy what you're doing a lot more, versus if you hate every waking moment of this, you're not going to be likely to stick with it, guys. So that I'm not going to harp on too much. I don't want to take up too much of your time, but I hope that these 12 tips, you found some of them helpful, if not all, if not just one. Hey, whatever you're able to get out of this episode, I hope you're able to take this. I kind of just thought of 12. There's no reason for them, as there's a reason for number 12. It's for the 12 nights of Christmas, right? So I thought it'd be perfect just to add 12 things that I think would be helpful. And I'm going to recap them real quick. First one, cut out negative people. Number two, surround yourself with people who challenge you. You remember you're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Number three, be okay with not knowing everything. Number four, take chances. Number five, become stronger physically, or become physically stronger. I should have worded that better. Number six, prioritize your sleep. And this can we can attach recovery as well. Number seven, manage your stress. Number eight, eat your protein. Number nine, fat doesn't make you fat. Number 10, eat your carbs. Carbs are not the enemy. Number 11, there's no such thing as the best workout or diet. And number 12, like we just finished, you got to love yourself. So, with that being said, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I hope you guys have an amazing Christmas. And for people that are also traveling, I hope you guys are staying safe out there. Enjoy your New Year's as well. We will be making another episode, and I will be out the first week of. So I think the boys will handle this for you guys. So we'll stay consistent. Any recommendations, any questions, feel free to shoot us a message. I do have our Instagram handles on the screen if you're watching this on YouTube. Also, if not, you can just scroll down into the show notes and you can actually see all our information, and us as well as the timestamps. Once they are up, you'll be able to kind of recap. And I hope you share this with someone. Let us know. Share this with someone that might need to know this before going into the new year. And as always, guys, we're here to add value. We're super grateful for you guys once again. I'm talking for the 3 of us here. Truly grateful to be able to do this with you guys for the last year plus, heading into our 2nd year. So, all the best, everyone. Check us out on social media. Shoot us a message. enjoy your Christmas, get lots of presents, eat a lot of good food, make some good memories, and we'll catch you on the next one.